Next speaker is me, Dr. Vinit Sehgal from Louisiana State University, who's going to talk about their ag network. We have many networks that are springing up. We're kind of in this opportune time of just yesterday I heard about another network that was being developed. I in Maryland am in the midst of seeing a network led by University of Maryland springing up. So the need is current, it's imminent. So hopefully we hear like many positive efforts and success.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Vinit Sehgal, and I'm an assistant professor at Louisiana State University. And I'm very excited to be here. In fact, this is the first time we are presenting the developments on LACADIAN, that is Louisiana Climate and Digital Ag Network, out in the public. And as Mike said, this network has recently sprung up, so to say. Before I move forward, I would like to acknowledge my collaborator, Stacia Conger, who's an associate professor at LSU, and my amazing students, Michael, Frank, Nusrat, and Parveen, who have been instrumental in getting this off the ground. So we have all seen the map on the top left, and we know what it generally represents. It represents all the stations, soil moisture monitoring network across different states, across the country. So one thing we often miss out in Louisiana is it's kind of a soil moisture shadow region for us, because all we see over here are the two stations which cover Louisiana so far, and those two are from USCRN. One is in Monroe, another one is Lafayette. In Monroe, there are a few profile which have some missing data as well. So we do not have a lot going on in terms of soil moisture monitoring across Louisiana. And if you're a soil hydrologist and you're trying to set up a program in a state which has soil moisture monitoring that looks like this, it's not a very pretty sight for you. So me being soil hydrologist and knowing how soil moisture monitoring will be so instrumental in a lot of things that we do and we share common interest in, is to have that comprehensive monitoring network in the state to be established in the first place, to have that very basic infrastructure going on. So far we see that Louisiana, as a part of Louisiana Agroclimatic Information System, that was kind of a vintage system that we have been going on over there, or legacy system that we have, that had 9 stations. Of that 9 stations, 3 were defunct, and there was soil moisture at one depth at only 2 stations. So we didn't have a lot going on. So that's where we conceived about Louisiana Climate and Digital Ag Network. And it's different from the general objective of a mesonet, because we are primarily focused on 2 specific things. One is to help the digital ag and precision ag efforts that are going on within the state. So Louisiana Ag Center, LSU Ag Center has 14 research stations across the state. They study everything from rice to sugarcane, sweet potato, feed grain, cotton, livestock, and all those things. So now our job was how to provide, first of all, the very basic ag meteorology information to them, and then also provide them with the soil moisture information, and to convert that information, to convert that data into something meaningful, and to provide some really meaningful and impactful insights into what's the state of soil moisture in that region, what's the state of plant water stress, and what is the kind of yield they can estimate, what is the forage yield that can be expected for that specific landscape. So all those specific things are being looked into as the bigger umbrella of LACADIAN. And the second important focus area that we have is this very, very, very beautiful, ecologically important landscape that we have, that is lower Mississippi River alluvial plains. So other than the 14 research stations that we saw over here that we want to cover and to help the precision and digital ag efforts, we also want to monitor this ecologically important region, that is alluvial plains of Mississippi River. So these are the 2 primary focus regions that we have right now, and this is where we are growing. So far we have around, sorry, let me talk about first what's the scope. So as I said, we are going to work towards the, to help with the digital ag and precision ag work in the state, but also to increase in the impact, the project also has within its bigger umbrella to help improve the statewide flash drought monitoring, to test different strategies of precision ag. Some examples are precision integrated weed management. In fact, one of our collaborators is using the data from Lacadian to help develop new strategies into how they can use this data set in integrated weed management at the field scale, and also to promote sustainable agricultural practices as a whole for the state. So far, we have 5 active stations across different research stations from LSU Ag Center. And these stations are active. Some of them are very recently installed, so they just have less than a month data. One of the pilot sites that we had has about 5 or 6 months of data. It was installed in December. So we are covering different landscapes. As we can see, one is in pasture, one is in feed grass and soybean field. There's sugarcane research station. So of course, one of our sites is right next to a sugarcane field. There's specialty horticulture and feed grass or forage patch, as we can see over here. And we are growing very rapidly. So far we have these 5 stations which are active. 4 stations are underway, which we should be active within a month or so, and we are planning on growing as much as 20-25 stations by 2026. So there's a lot more effort that will go into this, and will have a much more comprehensive coverage across the state. So this is the general sensor configuration that we are going with, and we are trying to keep it consistent across the network so that we have ease of analysis and understanding when you integrate data from multiple sensors. So we have Atmos, automated weather station with all different micrometeorology variables. We have NDVI and infrared radiometer that is measuring vegetation health and land surface temperature. Soil moisture and soil moisture metric potential and soil water sensors are at 5 depths. We have the co-located measurements of soil moisture and metric potential at 5, 20 and 50 centimeter, and 10 centimeter and 100 centimeter are just soil moisture measurements. So we have multi-depth measurements available. So this is the general data processing, and we have been helped tremendously by Meter Group over here to help set this up. The Zentra Cloud platform had been of tremendous help because we don't have to go out on the field to physically collect the data. So all of this is cloud-based. So we get the data from the Zentra Cloud, and we do our local QA QC with local data backup, and then we push it out through our data access platform. So this is where we come into play, that all our data that we have been observing, that gets QA QC'd, and that's what we push out every day. So this gets updated 3 times a day now. And all the data that we have recorded so far, and we will be recording in future, will be available through our Share Lab data portal for programmatic data access. And those who want to have the data availability in field, we also have an app that's available. So if you follow the link over there, you should be able to play with the data, make some maps, interact with the live map that is out there, and see the latest conditions across different sites which are active. And this is actually a very good time to be in Louisiana if you're a soil hydrologist, because other than Lacadian, other than the network that we are building of 20-25 stations, there's also a very strong push that is going on towards Louisiana Mesonet. So we are looking at another 64 stations covering all different counties, which will also include soil moisture measurements. So this is something really exciting for us. And this is all very new, and we are learning as we go forward. So if you have any suggestions towards how we can improve this, how you would like to have the access to the data, is there something we can do to increase the potential use of the data set, please let us know. We'll be very, very receptive and thankful. Thank you so much.
Time for a question? For Vinit? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. So I'm just asking, how did you calibrate the term sensor before you install them in the... So my question is, you should have sensors.
Right.
They're the ones you use for solution. how did you calibrate them before you started?
Okay, so the question is, how do we calibrate our sensors before we apply it on the field? So we do not calibrate our sensors as of yet. So what we are doing is we're using the sensors with the factory calibration as it is. And the plan is that maybe going down the future, we will try to generate calibration curves for different sites that we have, but we are not calibrating site-specific instruments.
Any other question?
Yeah, I saw on one of your slides that you were plugging NDVI.
Right.
Saw on one of your slides, you
Mhm. Yes.
NDVI. I was just curious.
Right.
I didn't catch it. Which section?
That was apogee sensor that we are using for NDVI. So the idea is that we want to have a co-located measurements of moisture, NDVI, that is vegetation on top of the surface, and land surface temperature. So the field of view of NDVI and land surface temperature are right on the top of the soil moisture pit. So that's a very reliable way if you are really interested in looking into relating vegetation dynamics and land surface temperature with soil moisture dynamics. So they're all incident on the same soil pit. Thanks.
Okay, we'll go to our next.
Thank you.
Go to our next speaker. Thank you. Speaker is